The Denver Nuggets for the past few seasons have been quite financially stable and flexible. In this offseason, Nuggets have signed Mason Plumlee, Gary Harris to an extension, and Jokic and Barton are soon to follow. With all this money being spent in this offseason, it does make me wonder, are we going to be able to sign our young core? Can we keep them all? My name is Skipper Turner, and welcome to Nug Search. Since a long streak of drafting really cool players, I have been hoping that we would keep our young core. The young core I'm looking for Nuggets to keep is Murray, Jokic, Harris and Mudiay, with the potential of Hernangomez and Beasley potentially fitting into this category. What if all of these players become star players in their own rights, or near star, and we can't actually afford to keep them all? I have conducted a theoretical test to see what would happen if all our players were deserving of max contracts? And can we keep them all with our current salary situation? The salary cap and the luxury tax threshold is sitting at $99.1 million and $190 million respectively as of this coming season. Based on some predictions from Sport Illustrated, the salary cap and the luxury tax are expected to reach $120 million and $142 million respectively by the 2021 season. To start things off, I want to go over the assumptions that I have applied to this just so it makes a bit more sense. The assumption 1 says that the salary cap and the luxury tax threshold will increase to the 2021 figures at a constant rate. Who knows if they don't, but in this case we're going to count it like it does. Assumption 2, the Denver Nuggets front office will avoid going over the luxury cap at all costs, barring a championship. It is extremely expensive to go over this luxury tax threshold. A lot of small market teams tend to avoid it. Denver Nuggets have proven to have done it in the past, especially with getting rid of Marcus Camby for literally nothing. He was a defensive player of the year the season before, and we got rid of him to get out of the luxury tax threshold. Assumption 3, the Nuggets' main goal is to keep our young core. They might not even like Mudiay. They try to get rid of Gary Harris, so it's a real big assumption to say they want to keep them all. I want to know if it's possible, so that's assumption number 3. Assumption 4 states that the Nuggets, when they're forced to sign cheap players due to going over the cap, that the minimum salary exception salary on average will be about $1.2 million. These figures might be rough, guys, but it's going to point us to some kind of direction as to what's going to happen. And coming into the 2017-18 season, we can see we're actually $14.5 million under the luxury cap. Now, what happens when we come into the next season? We have a lot of changes coming, that's for sure. Each of Barton, Harris, Jokic will each be starting on the new contracts. We'll start with Gary Harris. He's just signed an $84 million contract over 4 years. It does include incentives, so technically he could get paid less than that. Will Barton hasn't received an extension or contract yet. I'm predicting that Will Barton is going to get $10.5 million for the next 4 years. I'm basing this on the latest reports from Hardwooks Proxy saying that's what it's looking like it's going to be. We can also have a look at other NBA players in the league similar to Will Barton, who just recently signed extensions as well. I think $10.5 million is just in the ballpark there. Nikola Jokic, he's going to be in his 4th year. It's a team option. It's most likely that Denver Nuggets will relieve this option and sign him to a new contract. Based on the max being 25%, it looks like the most Nikola Jokic is going to get is roughly $25 million per year over 4 to 5 years. With all these contracts all put together, it puts the Nuggets almost $29 million over the luxury tax threshold. So that means we're going to have to get rid of some players. Jameer Nelson will be an unrestricted free agent, whilst Wilson Chandler and Darrell Arthur are both on their last year player options, meaning that they will have the decision to go into free agency or go into one more year of this remaining salary. At this point, I think Denver Nuggets' best interest is to let them go financially. I also think that we'll have to get rid of another contract to get under this luxury tax. I picked Fareed because it looks like he already wants to go a little bit. As much as I really want to keep him, we do have power forward depth and it seems like an easy option to me. So in a salary dump and a few drops of free agents, we will be firmly over the salary cap, but just $5 million under the luxury cap. 2019-2020 season comes along, and at this point, it's time to sign Emmanuel Mudiay, and he'll be due for a contract extension. Obviously assuming that Mudiay in the past 2 seasons has played very well and deserving of $20 million. In signing this, Denver Nuggets will once again be looking at being over the luxury cap by about $11 million, with the addition of 2 additional players signed to the minimum salary exception. The easiest solution I can see on paper is getting rid of Mason Plumlee, and at this point we will be just scraping underneath the luxury tax threshold, and with that we'll have enough room to pay for the low production minimum contract players to fulfill the remaining roster spots. And 2020-21 season comes along, the Nuggets front office will have some really big decisions to make regarding Murray, Hernangomez and Beasley. My guess is Jamal will sign for something like $25 million for 4 to 5 years. I think at this point he will be at the top of the hierarchy. Who needs to be signed out of Murray, Beasley and Hernangomez, and I think he'll be the top priority. With the subsequent ending of the contracts of Lyles and Millsap, even Murray's huge extension locked in at this point, the Nuggets will be under the salary cap by almost $20 million. Because we hold the bird rights for both Hernangomez and Beasley, even if we gave both players $22 million per year, we'd still find ourselves $6 million under the luxury cap. Our bench would be significantly depleted compared to 2017-18, with 3 minus salary players on the bench, with 2 more coming just to replace Lyles and Millsap. Okay guys, so I hope you found that interesting. Basically, I think I found out that we can actually keep all of these players. It's still technically possible. It just means that if they are all worth close to max contracts, we're going to have to get rid of that bench that we have so dearly held onto for so long. It's going to be a shame, but hopefully they're not going to be worth close to max contracts. Maybe some of those players will sign for a cheaper, more reasonable contract to keep some of our depth. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this one. We've got a game coming up next week. Very exciting stuff. And thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe. Please like it.